As a practicing poet, I get this question a lot. Can poetry writing be taught? At one end of the spectrum, you have people with degrees in creative writing from the most renowned universities in the world. And on the other hand, you have people without any formal training who have honed their craft on the go. Which approach is better? Is it even fair to compare both these approaches? I would say both strategies have their own merits. Poetry can be a natural talent, yes, but unless you seek out active opportunities to express that talent and go on a learning curve, that innate ability can get rusted fairly quickly. On the other hand, if you study poetry as a discipline diligently, but don't exercise your creativity and imagination, then all that study and knowledge won't do much good. Writing poetry is firstly about creating a unique poetic voice. Uniqueness matters in all forms of creative writing, but I would say it matters the most in poetry. Of all art forms, poetry is the one that bears the greatest imprint of the poet's individuality. Nowadays, with most people writing in free verse, one is not so finicky about the rules and all. What matters more is the originality of your ideas and the freshness of your imagery and language. Poetry writing, I don't think, can be taught from the simplistic standpoint of learning how to write poetry. Poets can be provided with knowledge about the necessary tools for developing ideation, imagination, and other parts of the poetic process, but they must learn to actively apply those tools themselves in their specific context and according to their specific temperament. Poetry writing workshops should focus on unlocking the creativity and imagination of poets by giving them different scenarios, word combinations, and props to write about. The focus should be more on getting the poets in the spirit of writing spontaneously and stimulating their creativity. One shouldn't get too obsessed with editing or correcting their poems at these workshops. That defeats the very purpose of a poetry workshop, I think. That's why I think poetry workshops should throw in a bit of journalism by letting students explore a particular area and then asking them to express whatever they saw and experienced poetically. There's nothing as powerful as immediate stimuli. By encouraging poets to respond to external stimuli and express their reactions poetically, you're teaching them the nitty-gritty of the poetic process. And that, to me, is more important than teaching them how to write poetry. So I would conclude by saying that aspiring poets can certainly be taught the elements of poetic process, but how they respond to those elements and make poetry writing a regular habit is up to them.